On this exploration, we discovered an abandoned hospital complex built in the outskirts of a major city. This hospital was built to house vulnerable adults with severe learning disabilities who relied on care that needed to be given. Currently, the hospital is undergoing an intense investigation into allegations surrounding physical and emotional abuse committed against its former residents. Inside the living areas, we find reminders of those who once lived here and the conditions in which they were living. As we ventured further, we found ourselves in a slightly darker part of the hospital, in a room that is the last stop for every person before their eternal resting place. Upon entering the building, we were greeted by what appeared to be a communal area. A fireplace seen on the far wall indicated that this is a place where people would gather. From here, we stepped into the main corridor. A row of rooms on opposite sides of the halls made it obvious that we were in a dormitory building.
That's dark. That's really dark. Yeah. These are all residential rooms. Wonder if there are any beds left. Is that like bubs or skirts or something?
Looks like skirts for dolls.
This hospital was first opened as a mental health facility in 1949, and at that time was said to have been a special care colony for people with intellectual disabilities. Over the years, a large number of people passed through its halls, as the facility was built to house 1,000 residents.
There's them really old switches again.
They must have come up this direction either.
We've seen the same ones in the school before.
Yeah. Dial 666.
Jesus.
Sure, why not?
And that old fire alarm button too.
It worked. Bah!
I hope it doesn't set off like a silent alarm somewhere. It's really cold in here. Something else.
An investigation into this facility was carried out after allegations of physical and emotional abuse were put forward. Even one police investigator said that they had CCTV footage showing up to 1,500 crimes committed in just one ward alone. Multiple staff have been suspended, arrested, and some are now facing charges.
Place what's this? Russell and Karen. 90? Does that mean like 1990?
Right, you can make it.
Alright. Smart ass.
She has a big hole.
That must be like an assisted toilet or something.
You want to get it?
Yeah.
Do you stop in the library?
Hey?
Back in the old days, we done stuff like this.
An incinerator? That's like a wee incinerator in there. Yeah, look.
In the bathrooms, we found some very strange fittings. We found what we believed to be an assisted toilet, but what was most peculiar was a small incinerator. This isn't a typical fitting that we'd see in a state premises, especially in one where people are resident.
That's still very...
Yeah, there's still charcoal in the flute. Is it a cigarette thing?
I don't know.
Bonnie, why would you have an incinerator in a toilet?
I don't know, it's pretty creepy.
Is
Yeah, I don't think they would have it in today's.
Do you know what it is? If that's an assisted toilet, if somebody was helping them, they might have put stuff in that and they just burnt it, you know, like chemical kind of stuff. You know, in the hospital where you have to put it in a separate bin.
Oh, aye.
Maybe something like that.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Sanitary toilet? Is that a note? I don't really want it. Yeah, it's something. I'm not left.
Okay, there's that one.
Is that an electrical room? Oh. Yeah, that's asbestos.
Yeah.
Just want to give a couple of quick looks at this. It's really old.
When we had our fill of the ground floor, we made our way upstairs to see if there was a difference between here and there. Some of our discoveries were beginning to raise our suspicions that this may have been a residential building for younger people. The upstairs floor was much brighter and also seemed to feel a lot less claustrophobic than downstairs. But this was probably just because of the lighting. We also noticed that in these corridors there were doors that partitioned different segments of the building.
Ooh, it's bright.
Do you want some chicken in the bed closed? I don't know. The hardest fucking video, oh, sorry.
This one's locked.
Ooh, that's the minute someone trees you.
Wonder why that's locked. More bathrooms.
They must have had a lot of independence because there's a lot of tanks in it here.
Yeah. There's another incinerator. One of them big toilets. This room's a lot bigger than the bathrooms downstairs. And a bath. 2 baths.
It was in the upstairs bathroom where we see where nature had decided to begin its reclamation of the building. The trees outside of the building had begun to move into the now deserted facility, and they began by entering through the bathroom windows.
Jesus. Holy shit.
As we entered each room, we noticed a pattern. Each of these rooms were uniformed in their design. The furniture used in each room were the exact same, their layout identical to the one before it, but each with their own decorations. Decorations of cartoons and fairy tale characters made us begin to think that it wasn't just adults that were living here. With each room, more questions arose.
There's somebody writing all over it. Bat smoking on the day. How's it looking?
Once we had spent enough time exploring this residential building, we decided it was time to move on to our original goal, the room that enticed us to visit here in the first place. Situated in a small building just offset to the complex, hidden behind trees, alone. Now for our final stop on our visit to this hospital, which incidentally is the final stop for everyone, the adjacent mortuary. In this small building stands an untouched and undisturbed porcelain embalming slab, a fire clay and glass table built to withstand the roughest of use. At the top of the table, underneath the white enamelled surface, reads Tyford, etched in a flow blue application of deep cobalt blue inking. In this pastime, rarely is it seen that something so strange and ornate is still untouched, but the memories encapsulated in this room are still here. In the next room, a small church, where families and friends would pay their respects and a ceremony held for the recently departed. The altar still stands with a lush red carpet leading to the foot of the crucifix that still looks over this chapel today. We're not sure what is to become of this controversial complex. In 2019, it was being debated by the Department of Health that the site be fully discontinued and all services migrated elsewhere. All we know is within these walls lies a wealth of history and also many unhappy memories of its former residents. Hopefully, in the future we can return to this site and uncover more of its secrets, as many of the buildings still remain locked tight. What we learn from here is sombering, but what is most important is that we learn from the events that took place here, so that it never happens again.